Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Wrestleview Post-Raw number 148. I am Mike Tedesco.
I'm Victoria Tedesco.
Well, we're 6 weeks away from WrestleMania, and
Can't believe it.
kind of getting excited about the show. I'm not going to lie. Look, do they have to hotshot a whole bunch of stuff? Yeah. Do they have to make Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns just annihilate literally everybody on the roster to the point where no matter who wins after WrestleMania, other than just facing each other, for till the sun explodes, there's no plan for there's nobody on the roster that's strong. They even beat Goldberg at Elimination Chamber decisively to feed Roman Reigns. Like, there's no possible person that could challenge either of the two guys, no matter who wins the winner take all. Despite all that, they still are promoting a pretty exciting main event. There's some featured things coming out, people that haven't been announced yet, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, a possible Undertaker match, maybe Cody Rhodes appearing at some point. There's a lot of stuff going on.
There is a lot going on, and I'm all for it. I really am. I can't say that I'm not.
It's
so I don't know.
It's one of those deals where
they hook me every time.
They hooked us, yes. Indeed.
Like you know how I know
they hooked us? Because right at the start of the show, Paul Heyman comes out and promotes some stupid match at Madison Square Garden for the WWE title, and obviously Bobby Lashley will not be at Madison Square Garden since he's scheduled for shoulder surgery any day now. But we decided to end our quarantine.
Okay, whoa. We have to preface a little bit, but yes,
not really.
Go ahead.
There's no prefacing going on here. I heard that, and if you asked me like 2 days ago, I think I actually said it to somebody 2 days ago that I can't see myself going to another event for at least another year. I was like, well, Madison Square Garden is requiring everybody to show proof of vaccination. If we don't take our masks off, what do you think about going to Madison Square Garden? Okay. So we're going our return to wrestling. We haven't seen a wrestling show live since
it will be 3 years, almost 3 years now, right?
No, only two.
Only two?
2020 to 2022.
Oh, true.
We haven't seen a wrestling show since, well, I think Elimination Chamber was.
It was in March.
It was in mid-March.
Yeah.
So it'll be almost 2 years to the day.
No, it wasn't even mid-March. It was the beginning.
I think, oh my God.
It was the beginning of March. And the only reason why
March 5th?
I don't know if it was March 5th. It might have been March 8th. And the only reason why I remember that is because that, literally that week.
It was March 8th. Wow.
Yeah,
very good.
8th.
So March 5th,
I remember it was
March 5th. It'll be almost 2 years to the day.
Yes.
From our last WWE event, which is like for us.
And then the world shut down.
For us who go to every single show whenever they're in the area.
Yeah.
Like we missed Survivor Series. We haven't gone to a show in so long. That's a long layoff for us. So we'll be back at a WWE live event.
I mean, I even went when I was pregnant.
You went
I went when I was like 8
Victoria
months pregnant.
8 months pregnant.
Yeah, 8 months pregnant, having contractions.
Yeah, the day of.
We made sure.
The day of.
Yes, we made sure that I was not going to labor. And then they were like, nope, you're not going in labor. You're just having, some early onset, whatever. I'm like, okay, we're going. We're going
to Madison Garden for SmackDown.
And Raw.
Yeah.
So
I want to pull up a picture of you 8
months
pregnant.
Pregnant. Yeah, going at the event. Yeah.
Oh
so
God,
it was
ridiculous.
It was honestly, it was almost
Kit Dyson's going to WrestleMania this year.
Okay, so funny thing, Kit. Oh, and everybody, not just Kit, but when we were talking about over the weekend, everything that, some of the news that we'll talk about in just a minute, that's happening this year that kind of made us want to go to these events. I go to Mike, I go, you going to WrestleMania? He's like, I want to, but I think we're just going to settle for obviously.
We'll take it easy.
Start slow. But yeah, we figured, okay, listen, wear a mask the whole time, and I'm a stickler about that. Like I will, and again, I know you could still get whatever, and people who are vaccinated could still get sick, but I'm feeling confident if in where we're seated and if we're wearing our masks that we'll be okay. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to being at an event, which I know sounds weird because normally, like, yes, I love the events, but I was a little sick of like the crowd and whatever. But it is kind of nice to just go out and feel a little bit normal again. So,
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
did you find the picture yet?
Yeah, well, I have. Oh, so I have a couple pictures. I guess
Pregnant,
yes, I guess I will show
Preggers,
those.
Victoria.
Preggers Victoria at a WWE live event.
And I was preggers for WrestleMania.
But you look
But I looked.
you look good pregnant here. This is like good pregnant. This is not like.
But that no, that's not showing.
Not like enormous pregnant.
That one with the yellow.
Here's the one. This is the one in the yellow where you just look like a house.
Where's the one of me standing though?
Was there one of you standing?
Yes.
I don't even know.
There's definitely one of me standing, and I'm like, oh my god.
Bailey still had her hugger gimmick at the time. Oh my god. Oh yeah, the Stone Cold thing. Yes, that's right. Yep, Stone Cold.
And I was definitely standing, and I was pregnant.
Don't remember. People are gonna get sick if I start.
No, where is it?
Oh, there's Undertaker. Word cookie.
Was that or when we got Mercy?
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't remember.
We're taking a trip through time here, people.
I don't remember.
It had to be towards the end of the show, I feel.
Well, I don't know. I'll find it. I'm not gonna look through the whole entire damn thing here right now. God's sake.
Want me to find it?
No, I don't. I want to continue talking about the show, so we're not having too much dead air here.
I can literally find it in 2 seconds.
You can't find it in 2 seconds.
Watch me, everybody.
Impossible. No, stay away from me. Do not come near me.
I'm not going near you at all. I could find it right here.
You can't find it.
There's 2 seconds.
It's got to be on your phone then, because this is all from my phone. Yeah, you're just huge here. Anyway. Yeah, so we're going back to some WWE live event. I'm pretty excited about it. So, and that looks like a good live event too. I wonder if they're gonna like televise it, because I mean,
do you think they're going to?
I mean, like, what is it that important, the Madison Square Garden house show, that they got to promote it on Raw? Like, there's got to be a reason why.
That's
like,
true. That's actually very true.
It could be like a network special.
Right here, found it.
It could be a network special. We'll show it.
Well, what do you mean? Oh, just like hold it up?
Yeah. Well, I can't share your phone screen here.
Okay, here, everybody. Here's a pregnant me. You can't really see it though.
Yeah, you can see it just fine. That's wow. God. Like, it was like 7.5 months you looked like totally normal, and then all of a sudden, like, that last like month and a half, you just
I mean, hello, I'm growing a human.
It's so funny. Oh, I forgot you were that big.
I was having contractions that day.
Oh dear. Those were the days. No masks. Easy go of it in life.
One more time, everybody. Pregnant.
Wow. Wowzer.
Hey, wow.
I counted 20 seconds, but WWE would announce that it's 2 seconds. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, the Macho Man shirt. People like the Macho Man shirt. All right. So let's say hello to everybody in the chat room before we get into this Raw show here. We got Goosey here. Evening, kids. We got Quentin Walters. We got Nafis Sadat, Kit Dyson, Uncle Billy, Machoon Walls. Ayush is here. We got some people watching this tonight.
Yeah, we have new people, and we have our and it's
good to be back.
Yes.
There's no way that I could get on last week. It was Valentine's Day last week. It was just,
and something happened the week before.
And the week before, I think we're just exhausted. We just could not pull ourselves to do a show, but we are back, and we're, God willing, for the next 6 weeks, we are not missing any shows heading into WrestleMania. Well, actually 7 weeks, because then we have the night after WrestleMania too. So there's
God.
a lot of stuff. There's a lot of coverage that'll be happening in the next couple of weeks. Tonight, we're 6 weeks away from WrestleMania, and somebody needs to remind the writing staff that we're 6 weeks away from WrestleMania. Look, on tonight's show, from number one, again, that weird thing that they do where, I don't like the name of the town, so we're just gonna like ignore that. Like,
They've been doing that for
They're
years.
in Columbia, South Carolina. So of course they're just like, yeah, we're at the University of South Carolina. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't know that was a town name, but all right, fine. It doesn't matter. It's like one of those weird things where when they used to come to the Izod Center and they'd be in East Rutherford, New Jersey, or like MetLife Stadium. We're in East Rutherford. No, we are on the border of New York City.
Oh, that was when we had, and then even Prudential Center was like, they're like, oh, Prudential Center.
I don't know. I you know what? I never went back. I literally think we've gone to every single Prudential Center show that they've ever done.
They've never said the name.
I don't know. I never ever watched back any of the Prudential Center shows.
They've never
online.
though. They've never said it.
I don't know.
I'm telling you,
have they ever said Newark, New Jersey?
They've never said Newark, New Jersey. And if anytime they have, it's like Newark, New Jersey. And then they're just like, they don't want to say New Jersey.
We did miss one Newark, New Jersey show. I think we missed one, and it was
For what?
I don't know. I think there was a Raw that was just booked atrociously that we just had no interest.
Oh, but regardless, they still don't say Newark.
I don't know. I never heard it. Never heard them say it.
Anytime WrestleMania,
they say Brooklyn. They love Brooklyn.
Anytime they said, even with WrestleMania, it was New York City. It's like, no, we're literally in New Jersey.
No, this is not New York.
This is not New York at all.
At all. Like the New York Giants play there, but
they're embarrassed about New Jersey.
It's so weird. I mean, I guess whatever. It's one of those weird.
One of those weird things they don't want to say our names.
I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so we need to remind them that there's 6 weeks from WrestleMania. Now, look, there were some good things on this show. It wasn't all bad, but man, in the middle of the show, it just died. There were just some awful things.
You know how you talked about dead air before? You just you said oh, I don't want dead air.
Yeah.
Certain things were just dead air.
Yeah,
it was just
well, a lot of it. There was a lot of dead air, but in their minds, it's just well, as long as we're producing content, that's all that matters. It doesn't have to be entertaining; it just has to be content. And well, they accomplished that tonight. I mean, they definitely teased a couple things for WrestleMania, and there was a newsworthy piece of there was a newsworthy segment on the show tonight with Logan Paul. Okay, let's talk about that first, because that's the Miz. So Miz TV,
twitching right now.
They desperately wanted you to believe that Cody Rhodes was going to be the Miz's tag team partner at WrestleMania.
Chance. I knew that wasn't happening.
And it's almost like Cody Rhodes, who is coming back to WWE, he will be on at some point. It's almost like he leaked it immediately that no, it's not me.
Okay, so let's
because as soon as he teased it on Saturday, immediately it came out that Logan Paul was going to be the Miz's tag team partner.
Okay, I was going to say
Miz tried to keep it going tonight by saying, "Oh, his opponent is his partner is dashing and from a fighting family like the Rhodes family." And it wound up being Logan Paul. All right, what do you want to say?
Okay, so 2 things that we need to talk about within news, right? Logan Paul.
Well, we're talking about the Logan Paul thing first.
Yeah.
What else?
And no, I'm saying and the whole Cody Rhodes thing too.
Yes,
right.
Yep.
So we're
covering it all here.
Right now, it's intertwined a little bit, but we'll talk about the Logan Paul thing first.
We're gonna cover it all. Dear Lord. I gotta give him credit, because how they have tried. They've had this guy on their show a couple times, and to embarrassing results, by the way. Actually, I think the last time Logan Paul was on the show was with the Miz and John Morrison, and he and Miz got into it. So I don't know how they came to be tag team partners, but whatever. But they have tried to present this guy just like they do with every celebrity. Oh, this guy's a face, oh, you got to love them because they're a celebrity. They're not from our world. Everybody's going to love them. It's like they brought him in for WrestleMania last year. They brought him in for a random Raw or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they finally realized, no, this guy's a schmuck. Everybody hates him. So
and everyone does hate him. I sure as hell hate him.
They capitalized on it because, I mean, you got to give it to him. The crowd was pretty damn furious when they took out the Mysterios on Miz TV tonight.
Yeah, because he's an actual jerk. That's why I don't like him.
Well, he's a schmuck.
No, he is though, and
I said he's a schmuck. I'm not denying it.
I really can't stand him. I'm so not looking forward to this at all in any capacity.
So you're not looking forward to a Miz match?
I am not, because it involves Logan Paul.
This will probably be one of the most high-profile matches on WrestleMania. or
I have
won.
no interest because of Logan Paul. I really hate him that much.
Wow.
I cannot stand him. I think I don't like
I've
anything
never
he
s-
represents.
I've
I don't
never
like
seen a single thing with Logan Paul. I mean, he's
he
a social media. So I have no idea.
he's been a jerk from the
I mean,
beginning.
I've heard the name because I guess his
The Paul
brother.
brothers. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
the
did
Paul.
Vines, and
I don't know anything about Vines. I don't know anything about
that's how they
their.
started. They
I
were
know nothing about it.
Viners, and
I know nothing about it. Nothing.
okay, well, I'm telling you about it.
I know. I
And
still know nothing.
he from the very
I just know
beginning,
that he's
I
a
haven't
dick.
liked him.
I know that they did something in some kind of um I know they did something in Japan where they went into like some forest and him and his brother were like it's like a forest where a lot of people like I guess they commit suicide there or something like that, and they actually were filming next to a guy hanging on a tree or something like that.
Yeah,
But
they're
then they had to apologize for it. That's the
but they're
that
not
was the first I ever
sincere.
heard of Logan Paul. I read that on some New York Times article. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, here they are.
Yeah. No.
Here he is
Yeah.
on
Yep.
WWE Raw in a featured spot.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm really like just he irritates me so much.
Mr.
And
V is
I
here.
don't honestly like
I agree.
what bothers me about this is the fact that he is just such a jerk. Like he's been a known jerk. Other things too, and I'm like, this today they're bringing this guy in, and I get it. They want to capitalize on it. They want to make money. They want to have high profile. They want to whatever. But I'm not about this guy at all.
Neither's Nafis Sadat.
Really, I can't. As he's just such. They have no, you know what, too? Like their apology at the time for when they did that thing with the forest was not an apology.
Of course.
Their apologies are like, oh, but we're sorry, but this is what people are looking for. Oh, we're sorry, but like there's always a but. There's always like a but. It's back on the people who are cancel culture and whatever. And I'm not a big cancel culture person. I hate cancel culture. However, if there's anybody to cancel, it's them. I can't stand them. I really can't.
I'm with you.
It really bothers me.
I mean, the only thing I know about them is that Suicide Forest thing. So, yeah, they don't seem like good people. And there you go.
They've never been funny from the beginning either.
I see this
you
guy.
watch
Just,
old Vines and whatever, they're not funny.
All I see is some tall, lanky douchebag in the ring. That's all I saw. That's all I saw. That's all I know of the guy is that's what he is. Hi from the UK. Hello. Thank you for joining us on the Post-Raw show, Wrestleview. All right. Raw I thought was a 5 out of 10. All right. Well, I'm kind of there.
I'm like leaning right with you, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's the big news. So, Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio, it's been a while since he's been featured in put in a big situation. Like the last time he was really put in a huge situation was, facing Seth Rollins, and was his debut match at SummerSlam 2020. He's kind of just existed. Would you say is that a fair thing to say? I mean, we had a whole discussion about Dominic Mysterio and how it's like,
yes,
it's not really working out. This is going to be a big moment for him.
It really is.
When he got in Miz's face tonight, I thought he showed a little fire in his promo work, but something about he needs the mask.
He just needs to be, obviously.
He needs a mask.
The mask would help for sure.
He needs a mask. His face just doesn't look like. I don't know.
I think it's a.
I'm not saying he's ugly.
No. I think
I
think it's a personal thing for you. I think the mask just adds character. I don't think his face is ugly.
I'm not saying his face is ugly. I'm saying his face has
yelling at me.
His face has no character.
I think you know what it is.
I don't believe anything when I look at him. I'm like, who is this embryo in the ring?
I don't even know if it's so much like that type of look. Yes, he definitely does look young.
Baby face.
He definitely looks young. But it more for me, it's not indicative of who they're trying to make him out to be. It's this Mysterio name, right? And you have the Mysterio name. The mask should just be
living off of that
part of it. Like that should automatically kind of be like part of the character in itself. I think when you look at him in isolation and not next to Rey Mysterio, you're not really getting the whole like, hi, I'm a Mysterio, right?
Yep.
There's nothing that says like, "Hi, I'm a Mysterio." So that's where I have an issue because he's a good looking guy, but there's nothing that sets him apart. He needs that.
Dominic
Yeah.
is. I'm waiting to. He needs to show something. This is his
Yeah.
big moment, and
Maybe they will mask him. Who knows?
yeah, well, look, they're a merchandising company that just happened to produce a wrestling television show, and what better merchandise is the mask? If they can come up with a cool mask design for Dominic,
Oh, it would be
I think that's a
it would
huge
be a
thing.
hit. It would definitely be a hit. And it would set him apart. It would you think of Rey
Right,
Mysterio, you think of the mask, you think
because
of
Goldberg's son, who's 16 years old, looks older than Dominic.
he's very young. He looks very,
looks
very young.
young.
He does.
But he's like 20. I think he's in his mid-20s.
He's got a
Look,
very long face.
I can't say that he's not smooth with some of the things that he does in the ring. There's a lot of holes in his game. There's a lot of holes. When I watch
potential.
When I watch those matches, there's a lot of holes in his game. And he's protected by the tag team thing. But this is sink or swim. This is a big spot.
Of course.
So we'll see what happens with the Logan Paul thing.
I mean, I'm rooting for him, obviously. Like, I'm rooting for him as an individual and as a star. And I want him to be successful. Like, and here's the thing. Although Logan Paul's involved, I'm not rooting for it to be a fail for anybody.
Right.
If they have to use this guy, if they really have to, whatever, I hope that somebody benefits something out of it because I can't stand him.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
We'll see. This is not like Bad Bunny last year, where I hope we have another Bad Bunnies type thing on when you and I get on, with Roy, and hopefully we'll have some other guests too. When we get on the WrestleMania post show in 6 weeks, I hope that we're saying, "Oh, that was at least better than I thought it was going to be."
No, because it's not anything to do with how good he will be. Because he does, like he said, he's a fighter. And Bad Bunny, I just didn't know who he was, and I felt embarrassed saying that because I'm like, I really don't know who he is. You know what I mean? I'm like, who is this guy? And little did I know he's this international superstar, right?
Mm-hmm.
No clue. But I was pleasantly surprised on how well he did. And the more I learned about him, like, oh, he's a good person. He's a cool dude. He's whatever.
Right.
Logan Paul could be a great in the ring, and I'm still not rooting for him. Like, I'm still not rooting for him. I don't care how bad or good he does in the ring at this point.
Yeah.
I hope he just doesn't hurt anybody else in the process, but I just don't like him as a person.
The other thing that was promoted for tonight, that they didn't even tell you he was going to be on the show, which is kind of weird because Edge is like such a big star. Nothing was promoted again for this show. It's like Brock Lesnar was going to be on the show. Like, you would think they'd want to promote that ahead of time, that the new WWE champion is going to be on the show. And maybe, Edge, who is a legitimate needle mover, is a legend. People love seeing him. I mean, like, there was a shot of the arena when his music hit, and somebody just got up and they're like, oh, I watched this, like, one part, like, shot up from his seat, was just so excited to see the guy. Like, no clue that he was going to be on Raw. So that was exciting for him. But at that point, after 2.5 hours of this, like, really nothingness, other than the Logan Paul thing and the Brock Lesnar
of course
interview.
V said he'll be on the show for Mania.
We could do that. That'd be nice. Like that would be something you'd want to tell people ahead of time that he's going to be on the show. Maybe they'd stick around and watch it.
Yep.
But Edge, we haven't seen him since Royal Rumble, I think, right? Yeah, I think it's been since that.
Yeah.
He was pumped up.
He was
really, really pumped up, and he cut a fiery promo about, what it means to be at WrestleMania, and, needing WrestleMania in his life, and WrestleMania needs him, and this and that. And he lays out an open challenge. I was a little irritated that he ended it with, "Oh, I'll make you live forever," which is the Damian Priest tagline.
Right.
I'm like, I hope it's not Damian Priest. Edge versus Damian Priest at WrestleMania really does not exactly light my fire.
You're right.
I did hear a rumor, though, that it could be AJ Styles versus Edge.
That I would really like to
That
see.
I'd like to see
That
as
I
well.
really would like to see. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Really good one.
That's worthy of a WrestleMania.
That just brings a smile to my face immediately
Yeah.
thinking about that.
That's worthy of WrestleMania.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see, but you know, we can only speculate right now as to who his opponent could be. Maybe it's Cody Rhodes. I actually think Cody Rhodes is going to be on WrestleMania somehow. I don't know what they're going to do.
That would be, you know, that would be very interesting. And I honestly,
let's talk about the Cody Rhodes thing.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Last time we were on this show, or right before, you know, it was like people were like, oh, Cody Rhodes is going to show up in the Royal Rumble, and I was like, there's no possible way Cody Rhodes will ever show up at the Royal Rumble. Are you kidding me? I thought that guy was AEW through and through, and they couldn't come to an agreement on money. Him and Tony Khan, you know, he wanted to be more involved in creative, and everything goes through Tony Khan. So he lost his creative spot. So he just gave it up. It's like, and he's coming back to WWE, the place that he rode the most, you know, in everything. You know, there was an interesting interview with Kenny Omega where he kind of said that him and the Young Bucks were never about going to war with WWE. It was only Cody. And, you know, they always wanted to present themselves as, you know, just something different from what you would get on WWE. But Cody really wanted to take it to Vince McMahon. Well, I mean, that it was a really interesting interview because it shows that there was a lot of people out of sync in that, you know, in the vision for the company. And it's just so weird that he wanted to take it to Vince. Now he goes back to him.
I think here's the thing. Vince is very forgiving. Vince will do anything that makes him money.
He's going to turn him right back into Stardust.
He will do anything that makes him money. So if it brings attention, if it's going to draw a crowd, if it's going to pique your interest, he's going to do it. But he'll make you pay.
I want to know what everybody in the chat room thinks is what do you see is the fate of Cody Rhodes in WWE?
Okay, to our defense, though, what you said before, you're like, Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes is coming.
No, I was right. I still think that was a correct statement. But
yes.
I mean,
I didn't think he was coming to WWE anytime soon.
People were shocked.
Well, I'm shocked still because he really was. The reason why I'm shocked, as many of everybody else is, right, is because he was so, like, he helps build that company. He helped build that company. He invested so much time and money and everything. And really, at the end of the day, they gave him a lot too. I mean, not this recent, you know, obvious negotiation. It's where they had their fallout. But in the scheme of things, they really gave him a lot of ability and a lot of power to do what he wanted to do with his matches.
Yeah.
And take them to the level that he wanted to take them. And here he is going back. I'm a little shocked. I really am. Because, you know, Vince is not going to let him have any control at all. Vince will use him for what he needs. And then, like I said, then he'll be.
I have a feeling he's going to slot right. I don't think, you know, I'm kind of being facetious when I say that he's going to go back to being Stardust. I think he will come back and he'll be Cody Rhodes. But I don't think he's going to slot any higher than he did beforehand, where he's like a perpetual intercontinental title, United States title type guy in WWE. You know, maybe he'll get like a couple, you know, look, you know, maybe they'll give him, you know, Kevin Owens is a guy that, you know, he's kind of at like intercontinental level always, and every now and then gets like world title hot. I think that could be Cody Rhodes. I think Cody is going to be like, you know, he'll probably come in. He'll probably get a title shot at least.
He's going to get, yeah. Vince is going to use him, but then he's going to punish him.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
I honestly think Vince is going to use him for what he can right now.
All I see in Cody Rhodes' future is title shot and being tapped out with the guillotine by Roman Reigns.
What happens with Brandy too, by the way?
She's not coming in, I don't think.
No? You don't think she's going to come in at all?
They got the kid. I don't
know.
I
know. I'm just saying, I think there's a future for her too to come in.
Well, Kit Dyson thinks he might win the Money in the Bank. Mr. V thinks the polka dots are coming back. The thing that, when Dusty Rhodes came to WWE or WWF at the time, Vince is like, all right, yeah, we'll have you, but you're going to wear polka dots. He made it work, though. He made it work. I don't know if Cody's as talented as his father in that sense, where he can make the polka dots work. We'll see.
That's what I wanted to ask you, because obviously Dusty was a legend. So, do you think Cody's ego right now, he's still looking to more wrestle and not handle more of the creative end and manage people and do what his father did?
What's your question?
My question is, do you think his ego is too much where he would want to do what his father did? Or do you think he really wants to be like involved in actual physical wrestling?
I think he wants to, I think, that's why it's so weird. It's like, why? I mean, like you could say in AEW where it's like, friendly nations, or you can go to WWE and fight for everything that you get. Like, favored nations in AEW versus WWE, where it's like you're coming into a place where you were trashing everybody, including Triple H, even though Triple H has completely lost all of his influence. Or you could say in AEW, and it's like, well, Tony Khan is the head of creative, but I'm sure that he's talking to the boys and listening to them, and the girls as well. But in WWE, like back in the day, like anybody could walk into Vince's office and talk with him. I mean, yeah, you'd make an appointment sometimes, but like he was, a guy, a man of the locker room. He was very much involved in the locker room back in the day. Now, like Vince is untouchable. You can't get to him, and you have like 30 creative team staff members to fight through to even get to Vince. So for him to come over to WWE is like so strange. It's just such a strange move.
Unless there's something we don't know where he's almost playing spy too.
Well, I mean, is Cody Rhodes that big where he could get like a Hulk Hogan, like, clause in his contract to say no to like whatever creative he doesn't like? I mean,
I don't know.
Could he possibly be that valuable?
Maybe. And you know what though?
He could do that.
Well, let's just put it this way: with the amount of attention that AEW gets, and it is their actual competition now, so maybe there is something in it for them if they take him on. Maybe he's playing not spy. I'm not saying for AEW. What I'm saying is like he knows the direction that they're going in because he's been in the company for so long with AEW. He could kind of like beat them to it almost with some ideas that he has. I don't know. Maybe there's something in it for WWE as well. Letting him in, he could kind of get in the mindset of AEW and saying, well, this is what they would probably do. So let's see what we can do.
Billy's saying he was not happy with the fans. That's not enough to throw away your
I don't
career.
think he really cares.
I mean, I'm like, look, like I know, like, I mean, look when Ronda Rousey came back. The last show that we did, she came out and she was like acting like a heel, and somebody from in WWE had to take her aside and like, no, you're a baby face now. I know that you were bitter at the fans for how they treated you last time, but you got to come out and smile. And ever since then, she's been, I'm Ronda Rousey,
girl.
So look, like I don't know. Like I know Brandy wasn't happy with the fans when they're chanting "shut the f up" at her.
Yeah,
which was low class and typical crap that from that kind of fan base. I hate that stuff. I guess if he really hates the fans, he's coming to a place where even though we're back to live crowds, they still press that damn button and there's cheers and chants in that arena. And you don't see anybody's mouths moving or hands moving, nothing, so look, they still very much control. It's like the Thunderdome with real people now. It's like, so
I really think that he's having conversations with Vince that we really don't know about. I'm telling you, there's something in it for both parties here. Because why would you come back?
It's weird. It's weird. And it's not like, I don't think they're like handing out huge contracts either. Cause Nick Khan like fired like half the people that were on bigger contracts. So that the money must be all right, but it's going to be challenging for him to make an impact. I could see him being like in a Kevin Owens role. I really can. That's higher than he was last time he was in the company. Definitely higher than he was, or at least towards the end of it, it was running the company. But
Well,
I like if he thinks he's going to be like WWE champion or something like that, or no, I don't see that
I
at all.
don't see it either.
I don't see that at all. I mean, I could see a feud with Seth Rollins.
I am kind of
A feud
looking
with
forward
Kevin
to it, though.
Owens. A feud, yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I like that we have so many questions, and and are able to kind of like fantasy book what could possibly happen here.
Isn't it fun to
That's
have these
fun.
conversations now?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is why AEW needed to happen, because it's driving this whole, discussion now. There's not one, it's not just one place for people to go to. And what's interesting? He's the first one to be in AEW and now really come back
Yeah.
to WWE.
Right.
So it may be this game now of the who else might come back.
Right. And Billy makes a good point here that he's giving up 2 TV shows to go with it, because they had the Roads to the Gold show, which that was, and it was picked up for season 2. I guess that's not happening, or maybe it is. Maybe WWE sees Cody Rhodes coming in as a way to get on TBS, because if they do Roads to the Gold, the first season has him in the AEW backstage area, and now the second season could possibly be WWE.
Yeah.
He was on that other one, The Big Show.
Yes.
Not Paul White,
no,
of course.
No.
Like, I think it was called The Big Show or something like that, or The Big.
It was something like
Biggest
that.
Show. I don't know.
But
maybe he's not going to be a judge on that anymore. But who knows?
I'm really looking forward to this. He's opened now this world of like, oh, wait a minute, somebody's actually coming back to WWE.
Yeah.
Who else might come back? Who else might go to AEW? Who?
Well, that's the one thing that I really love about professional wrestling, is that no matter what, you can never say never on anything. I mean, if you asked me a month ago on this show, the last time we did it was we were reviewing the January 31st Raw, and I was like, how could anybody think that Cody Rhodes was ever coming to the Royal Rumble? You're idiots. You can never say never in professional wrestling.
No.
I never, ever envision Cody Rhodes ever coming back to WWE under any circumstances.
It makes it,
and he'll be back.
It makes
at
it
some
feel
point.
like that
He's coming
CM
back.
Punk could go back at some point.
He did. He was on backstage, which I mean, he wasn't technically signed by WWE.
No, you're right. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
He wasn't technically
right.
signed by WWE. He was signed by Fox.
No, but you're right though.
He was on a WWE broadcast.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Oh man,
it can happen with anybody.
It can happen with anybody. Anything can happen.
Well, it's definitely interesting, and like you said, it is fun to talk about this stuff, and and you can never say never to, like, maybe Kenny Omega ever coming to WWE, or or like or Young Bucks, or name it, name your person, Lance Archer, coming back, and
it's just interesting enough. It's just funny because it's Cody Rhodes. If it were somebody else, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Oh, it's shocking. It's extremely shocking.
He literally built that company.
Well,
whether they deny it, whether they want to believe it or not, he really helped build that company up.
And Daniel Schell's also mentioning people also going to AEW, Jeff Hardy and Goldberg maybe going to AEW. Who knows? It's possible. I don't think Goldberg goes to AEW, but Jeff Hardy's.
But you can't say never to it, though.
Can't say never to Goldberg going to AEW.
No.
Even Brock Lesnar, there was a time we thought that Brock Lesnar could be the.
I do remember that. Yeah.
We really thought that could possibly
ever
happen.
Let that happen though, because I really like him on WWE.
But hey, never say never.
Never say
it's
never.
Incredible. It's incredible. But I do enjoy talking about this stuff because it's definitely fun. Let's talk about Brock Lesnar coming out tonight. Again, there was a great shot right at the beginning of the show of when he was making his entrance. He goes up to this kid, and he has his WWE title on his shoulder, and he comes up to this kid, and the kid is like, he's just like so shocked that Brock Lesnar is standing in front of him. He goes, come on, touch the title, it's okay. And the kid was like just terrified, so he takes the kid's hand and puts it on the title. It was just such a cool moment, and the kid was just melted. He was so happy. Brock Lesnar, I mean, we've seen Brock Lesnar as a face before, kind of like he was just a guy just destroying things, but he was never really changed. But this is like him actually acting like a face,
right?
He hasn't done it really like God, I can't remember the last time he was like a real face.
I mean,
maybe
this
like
is
2003.
amazing. That was so funny.
But he just looks like he's having a blast, and he is actually just a tremendous face. I think he's a really, really great
He's
face.
a really good face, and he's a face that's like no other. He's a Brock Lesnar face, which is like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it's, you're good when you're a very good heel and you're a very good face.
I'm telling you,
if you could pull off both, you are a gold mine.
in professional wrestling, I don't know. There's been very few people who have been better than Brock Lesnar as a professional wrestler. It's just the case.
You can't just pull off both like
He's
that.
one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. And I say that anytime I talk about Brock Lesnar. It's
anybody who, and I always go back to this individual.
And Mr. V brings up a great point here too. That Brock Lesnar's interview on the Pat McAfee show was tremendous. Really, really tremendous. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Definitely check it out.
So good. Brock and Billy mentioning that he's been on TV so much as well.
Yes.
This is he looks like he's having
I think he's having a
fun.
blast. I really do. I think he's having a really good time, and he's just living his best life doing what he's doing. Because it's something new, not new, but this is something relatively new now, where like he was in this heel role for so long. So to kind of explore that real babyface role, because there's been times too where he's like been a tweener or like played the face, but not like actually a face, like more of like an aggressive face. This is like interacting with the fans and again going up to a kid, having him touch, like having the kid's like, what do I actually do? Do I touch the title or not? Like,
right.
You don't want to do it in your situation where like, you're doing a selfie and he's like, hey man,
I don't think he'll have me put in my
I don't think he'll have you touch his title by any soon by any means. But like, this is totally this big guy, this intimidating guy, and you just want to give him a big hug because you love him.
yeah, he's like a teddy bear right now. Him and Paul Heyman made a surprise appearance. I mean, I guess you could say Brock Lesnar's appearance is a surprise too because they didn't promote anything. But so Paul Heyman, not being promoted to be on the show is par for the course for like everything that happens on the show. Nothing's promoted. But he comes out and essentially says like they had a good little back and forth. I thought like Paul Heyman was great. The crowd chanted, "You suck" at him. He goes, "I'm, the special counsel of the tribal chief does not suck." And he said something great, like, Brock, I used to take care of all these things for you for the past 20 years. Those little caveats of, oh, you had to defend the title this time and this time, and I always got you out of it. Now you have to defend the title at Madison Square Garden on March 5th. You're not going to make it to WrestleMania as the WWE champion, because you're facing Bobby Lashley, and if Bobby Lashley's clear concussion protocol, I'm going to make sure that you have a title match worthy of the world's most famous arena. So that right there, Paul Heyman just sold me into Madison Square Garden.
And that's the point of these individuals.
So good.
That's what they do. They hook good. You.
Yeah.
They make you think like you're like, I'm not really into WWE as much as I used to be. But then those individuals know how to just like pull you back in, and you're like excited for this company, and you want to see these people, and you want to see these matchups, and you want to see
Trevor Mishke.
What a time.
Spot on right here. Such good shit. And Daniel Schell going off on with a hot take here. Cody versus Brock. For Cody's sake, I hope not. The way things are going with Brock. Although it's like there's so much Brock Lesnar that it's almost like, are they using up all of his TV appearances right now because he's not going to be on for like the rest of the year because he's going to lose the winner take all match?
Oh,
I could see him losing the winner take all match too, by the way. And because they got to build Roman Reigns up for The Rock at WrestleMania 39, which they're trying to make the SoFi Stadium WrestleMania the biggest WrestleMania of all time. They're really trying. They're like, this one's gonna be big. It's gonna have Steve Austin, The Undertaker, going in the Hall of Fame. Logan Paul, there's winner take all match. Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. These are big matches. These are really big matches. But
Sure you don't want to go to Dallas?
I'm positive, but I do want to go to SoFi next year.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to do that and watch. So it'll probably be like on Easter. I can't go, but it's something. It's gonna be great. It's like I the fan, like Daniel Shell saying, fantasy booking in overdrive right now, because I mean, if you're gonna build Roman Reigns up for The Rock, he's got to, although he's gonna have to beat The Rock too. What is The Rock gonna come back?
Daniel, I agree.
What is The Rock gonna come back?
overdrive.
What is The Rock gonna come back in his early 50s and be a defending champion? Because The Rock's 50.
He looks amazing though.
He's incredible. He's in incredible shape. Rock, right? I think he's 50. No, he's gonna be 50 this year. So next year he'll be 51 heading into next year's WrestleMania, I guess, or close to 51. Like, so Roman Reigns will have to beat him. It's like, what are you gonna do? Have The Rock beat him, and then
right, Rock's just champion randomly.
He's gonna be a movie star and like just come on now.
You never see the belt again.
Never see the belt again. It's like, but I mean, look.
No, Rock goes to AEW after.
But this just makes me think again, though, because it's gonna be winner take all. It's gonna be one guy who's defeated everybody. It's gonna be either Brock Lesnar who's defeated everybody or Roman Reigns who's defeated everybody as the dual champion. Who could beat them on the roster? And then it's like, okay, you do The Rock, and then The Rock loses. It's like who can beat Roman Reigns ever? It's like, so. Like all these, like there's like all these great scenarios for like one matchup, but then it's like the question in wrestling, whenever you do a feud, always has to be like, okay, well, what comes after? It's almost like we've almost peaked at like every single scenario you could possibly do.
Well, we also
and there's no satisfying future for it.
I have to 100% agree with you on that, because we build up to this one moment just for WrestleMania, which is
so enormous,
which is important, obviously, because it's your biggest show, but at the same time
they've done so much to build to it.
Yeah, you have to.
Where it's like, what do you do after?
Yeah,
you still have to have shows after.
That's always been the problem with the women's division in particular, though, because you can't. Yes. You're not always gonna have Ronda Rousey around. If Ronda Rousey's playing this role of,
if you're looking at this
temporary,
if you're looking at this as a television show, having one guy beat literally everybody on the roster, or two guys that do that, and then that one guy just keeps going and going and going and going, never loses. It's almost like WrestleMania 39 is like the series finale of WWE. It's like,
you're right.
What else can you do?
That's a good analogy.
It's almost like they're building to a point where you have to like restart the show from zero.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's a very good way of putting it.
There will be nobody credible left for this.
Yeah. And that's been, like I said before, that's been their problem, even with the women's division in particular. You're just cycling through these same individuals. How many times can you cycle through where it's like, not only are they winning, but then at the point of 2, is it like even fun anymore?
No,
because there's nobody else, and then you just know like who's going to win, and what the outcome is going to be, and that everybody else is back at square one.
Well, they have to hope, I guess, that Gable Steveson is going to be like the next humongous wrestler. It's like no guarantee that that's going to happen. It's like, oh, we'll sign a whole bunch of athletes because athletes do work out in wrestling, but sometimes they really don't.
Yeah, sometimes they do work out well, and then sometimes they,
you need like, and their writing staff isn't good enough to like get people over.
Well, let's put it this way: Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, right?
The only person that like really I could see who has a pro athlete and wrestling pedigree is, and they gave him the stupidest name of all time, Braun Breaker. That's the only one. If they keep him in NXT and keep him hot and keep him impressive, and then he comes up, maybe he's the guy that dethrones one of these guys, because he's, it's not only that you have to build somebody up in order to do this, they have to look like they can do it now.
Yes.
Because there have been guys that are red hot and they've just destroyed them with either Brock or Roman. So you need a guy that can get hot and look the part, because that's the only thing that you're going to come to expect at this point.
Yeah. You're right. And honestly,
His
everything
name's
you're saying,
Gunther. Danielle, his name's Gunther, not Walter.
everything you're saying right now is just so on point.
I know. It's
It
a
is.
curse.
It's
a curse.
It's insane. That series finale analogy.
Well,
That was spot on.
It's almost like they're building
was
towards
spot
like,
on.
what else can you do? What else can you do? On the series finale of Raw, the last standing wrestler gets beat by
Imagine
Roman
that's
Reigns.
like how it ends though. Like Vince McMahon's like, no,
like,
it's actually
all right.
ending.
Yep, we're actually ending it. So
Go to AW.
so anyway, so the whole Brock thing was to promote two different things. Just promote a house show at Madison Square Garden, so people buy tickets like me and Victoria. And the other one is, hey, I'm going to be on SmackDown on Friday. Okay, well, that was really, a great way to spend my time.
Vince beats Roman.
So, and like everything's like just like, and then like the next couple segments were just like promoted about like something else, like the Finn Balor's back, woohoo! And he teamed Tommaso Ciampa. It's so weird. They did the NXT 2.0 rebranding. And it's almost like nobody knows who Tommaso Ciampa is anymore now because he's not really like a humongous part of the branding.
Right.
So Finn Balor was in this match to add some star power to it versus the Dirty Dogs. They win. So again, that match was all to promote Tommaso Ciampa facing Dolph Ziggler tomorrow night on NXT 2.0.
Cool. Moving on.
So 2 out of the 3 opening segments of Raw were promoting other things. We did have a good match with the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy.
Yes.
But we've seen it a couple times already, including I think they did it last week, or they did it 2 weeks ago inside. I know they did it 2 weeks ago inside.
I don't remember.
Sure. When they did the sci-fi shows, they did them on the commercial free ones. No, they did it 2 weeks in a row because last week I think it was Gable versus Montez Ford. I think it was a singles match, whatever it is. Anyway, Alpha Academy's beating them every single time. So, but the Street Profits, I mean, Montez Ford is a great athlete. I've talked about that. I said that guy's a star.
Yes.
A huge star in the making. But Angelo Dawkins, you can't sleep on that guy. So good.
They're such a good tag team where it's like both of them
they're both stars.
Yes. Which is a rarity, honestly. It is. There's always one that's
yes. Even on Edge and Christian. Christian was good. Edge was always better. So yeah, I like that. And we talked about the Logan Paul thing already, and Victoria is so excited about it.
Oh, can't wait, everyone.
Okay. This is so like after the Logan Paul thing, depending on who you are, Victoria might say that the show started going down with the Logan Paul thing, but after Logan Paul, I really felt like this show just tanked after that for at least a little while.
Yes, for me, it was Logan Paul, and then the rest went to hell right after, too.
The Rhea Ripley Nikki Ass thing again.
Yes. We said literally
how many times
while it was happening, we kept saying, we're like, again? Why? Why are we doing this? Like, there's no reason.
I gave it the I don't care about this recap of it.
I love when you do that.
It's just
that's my favorite. That's my favorite when Mike is like, nope, I'm done. I'm not dignifying it with a recap.
3 sentences. That's what I gave it. 3 sentences.
That's my favorite.
I care.
I love when you just don't even dignify it with a recap.
Could not. I'm saying I could care less.
You cannot.
That is not true. Because that's implying that I could indeed actually that I care a little bit and I could care less.
Yes.
No, I could not care any less about this match. Rhea Ripley, like they went from using her really well in the chamber and that gauntlet match and kind of like building her up finally. I mean, she beat Nikki Ash every single time they've wrestled essentially, even and then Elimination Chamber decisively beat her. Now she decisively beats her again. But what do you do with Rhea Ripley now heading into WrestleMania? Are they going to do the women's battle royal again, I guess? Because they didn't do it last year. I don't think they did it the year before either. Yeah.
No, they definitely didn't do it the year before.
The only time they did it was at the WrestleMania 35 that we were at.
Yeah, they definitely did not do it the year before.
Yeah, that's right. Because they had the trophy that looked like ovaries on top of it. It did. It looks like a uterus on top of it. It's so weird. It's like, oh, they're women. We got to put a uterus on top of it. It's like,
yeah, that just screams, I'm a woman.
It's like either, okay, well, we were going to put the Fabulous Moolah on there, but she has a complicated history. So, okay, we'll take her off and we'll put a uterus
on it. Why not?
So weird. So deeply weird.
Let's just put a uterus.
Anyway, So maybe they'll have a battle royal and maybe Rhea Ripley can win that because the title match is already spoken for. And listen to me very
Oh my God.
closely.
Here we go.
Very carefully. I need you to hear this.
I'm listening to you.
Literally nobody cares about the women's tag team titles. Nobody cares about it. It has not helped anybody's career. It has not built them up for anything. So don't you dare tell me that Rhea Ripley is going to go again for the tag team titles after she just annihilated her last tag team partner in a tag team that did nothing for her. They held titles. And nobody cared. No one cared because it's a garbage, nothing, meaningless title that some social justice warriors went online. Oh, the women gotta be equal and get tag team titles when there's nobody on the roster. There's not enough women on the roster to even warrant having tag team titles.
Why are you doing
So do not tell me that, oh, well, she can go for the tag team titles, Mike. It did nothing for her career. In fact, it took her career back quite a bit. And look how great the tag team titles did for her. She's faced Nikki Ash for the past month, and it's done nothing for her.
Still holding the microphone. We're still having.
So don't tell me tag titles. Don't tell me that. But what do you do with Rhea Ripley for WrestleMania?
Please,
what's the answer? What's the answer?
Please, nobody say anything about tag team titles for the next 6 weeks.
I don't want to hear
or ever again.
I can't stand it. It's ridiculous.
I have something. She'd go for the tag team title. Thank you, Rashun.
Undertaker's going to the Hall of Fame. That's exciting.
Whoa. I mean, that's awesome. That is awesome.
He's great. He's really great. I mean, I cannot think of literally. There's nobody more deserving. There's nobody.
No, and you know what? There's actually, and like that's a very true statement because
you
there's
have one person going to the Hall of Fame this year. Just one.
There's certain times.
I think it'd pack the arena. It's just to see one person going to the Hall of Fame.
Yes, I would listen to him for 3 hours talk about his
That's
career.
What's going to sell the final SmackDown before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Not SmackDown. That.
Yeah.
2-for-1 special.
Yeah. That's incredible. There's sometimes, you know, how obviously in previous years you're like, really? That person made it? Like, were they even in the company? This is just
so good.
Yeah.
So great. Damian Priest. I can't tell if the crowd actually turned on him in this match or if they were actually pressing the boo button because they do seem to want him to be a heel now or something like
both.
That. But I know that there's no button that you can press to make people care about this man because even when they were booing him, it was like such half-hearted booing when they turned on him. Damian Priest is yet another failed experiment of, okay, we'll just give him a whole bunch of wins. Character work, we don't have to do much of that, right? They can cut good promos.
Nah.
If we give him a winning streak, people care about that.
No.
And now that he's losing, no one cares. So now he decisively beats Shelton Benjamin in a non-title match. No one cared. And he lays down an open challenge. He wants to face a world title caliber person. Finn Balor comes out. So it'll be Finn Balor versus Damian Priest next week for the United States title. And we'll see what happens. I hope it's not Damian Priest beats him and then goes after Edge. I hope it's not that, but we'll see.
One of our friends has a question in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yes.
The last one.
Okay. Damian Priest is basically Crossroads. The finisher is basically the Crossroads. It is the Crossroads. The Reckoning is the Crossroads. So he might have to change that, or Cody Rhodes will have to get a new finisher. It is the Crossroads. So yeah, it is. That's a good point too. So, you know, it's like Nikki Cross lost her last name, became Nikki Ass because they had Karrion Cross there. So we'll see what happens with that finisher. We'll see. Like Reckoning in Retribution had to change her name to something else, which we never even established, and then she went away forever. Because his finisher name was the Reckoning or something like that. Or maybe his finisher name changed. I can't remember what happened, but it was whatever it was stupid. I can't believe that people were even trying to make anything interesting about Reckoning, about Retribution ever. We had a horrible 24/7 segment, which if it was a little shorter, I would have liked it. Maybe I did get a kick out of Akira Tozawa going for a kiss on Tamina, but God, this took forever. There was a really funny moment where Dana Brooke kisses Reggie to pin him for the 24/7 title. And then when he got up, he had so much of her foundation on his face. And
like girl,
calm
down.
I forget who posted it, but it was definitely it was, let me see if it was Alfred from Forbes. I think he might have yes, he did. He posted it. So I'm just gonna post his tweet right now so you can see, because he had so much of her foundation on his face. It was like ridiculous. Number one, like I'm not saying this because I'm sexist or anything like that, but my God, how much work has Dana Brooke had done on her face? She doesn't look human anymore.
I don't know. That's not a sexist statement. It's true.
It's just a factual statement.
She looks like
her. I mean, look, her acting
manufactured self.
Her acting was horrible, and her emotions were always wooden. But now she can't even move her face anymore.
No, you don't
what
even.
What the hell?
But that's
going
why
on?
she can't.
Okay. Anyway, this is the thing. Like he had so much foundation on his face, it was just like,
oh my gosh, that's actually hysterical.
Come on, that's actually pretty damn funny.
That's really funny.
That's pretty damn funny.
Oh my gosh,
that's absurd.
Yeah,
I mean, really.
I mean,
but she doesn't look real anymore. It's
no, that's why she really can't be, and she'll never evolve because
of all the people that they got rid of, they kept her.
I said the same thing when it first happened.
I mean, look, I'm not advocating for anybody to lose their job. I'm saying that those people should have kept her job if they're going to keep Dana Brooke. Jesus.
Exactly. And she can't be anything now because she can't emote any emotions.
No.
She's laughing, looks the same. She's crying, looks the same. She's
I love you, Reggie. I am very upset, Reggie.
Please help me.
I mean, like there was like a weird thing where she was walking down and then she was like, like give him like one of these things. But the way the lights were hitting her is like there was like a huge shadow on her upper lip because it's like this now. It was like so weird. Natalia's the same way.
Oh,
Natalia's the same way. It's like, God,
I don't
stop.
get where I don't know
what look, I know that pain is beauty and all that stuff, and getting older is tricky. I understand. It's like my hairline isn't what it used to be when I was a kid. In my mid 30s now, I understand that getting old is kind of tricky and it's not all that fun. But my God, like
I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna be very open. I'm gonna be very open with our audience here. Okay. A few years ago, because I had multiple injuries on my face. I broke my nose 4 times. Okay. I'm not going to go into detail what happened on those 4 times, but I broke my nose 4 times. I had my nose done. Okay. I couldn't breathe, but I also didn't like the way it looked. Okay. I didn't like the way it looked. So I got my nose done. I am not against people getting something done that makes them feel better, and if it makes them a little bit more confident and everything else. But this trend of fillers and Botox on people who are very young and whatever. And again, I'm not going to go bragging about myself by any means, but I don't do all that stuff to my face, and my face, my skin's actually it's contained and it's nice because I haven't done all that stuff to my face. I don't know, but this trend of just like not having, just getting Botox everywhere and the fillers and the lifts and all that, like why? They're young girls. They don't need it. Like they don't really don't need it. It's
all right. I don't want to get too crazed on looks here, but geez, it was strange. She looks strange. Bianca Belair comes to the ring and she has a back and forth with Becky Lynch. And I thought it was pretty good, but Becky Lynch is still bad at being bad. She's just not a convincing babyface here. So she says she wants to beat Belair because Belair made the people turn on her. Because she came out to a Hero's Welcome at SummerSlam. but because I beat you in 26 seconds, they turned on me because of that, because you weren't good enough to beat me anyway, beat you in 26 seconds, and then they hate me for that. It's your fault. So, okay. But damn, she had a great match against Dewdrop. Bianca Belair did.
She is so strong, Bianca Belair. It's not even funny.
it's the exact same match that she had in. I know for a fact now it's in December because I had to look it up. I was super pumped about that match in December.
She's so good.
If you remember, you remember how pumped up I was about that, and I think I said
yes,
hopefully this is the thing that gets her back on track, and we still had to wait a little longer, but it really did do wonders to get her back where she should be. I guess you could say.
Yep.
She never should have been knocked off as far as she did get knocked off.
No, she most certainly did not.
Just absurd that's what they did to her. My mom's always texting me TikToks.
She's the best.
I'm trying to find here it is. Yeah. So good win for Bianca Belair. It's a shame they had to rehab her after how red hot she was early this year, but that's what bad booking will do to you. Oh no, wait. Oh no, maybe it was December 20th. I don't remember. Talk for me.
Oh, I thought you found it, so I was like,
I thought I did. No, there was another. Okay, there was two of them.
Oh
yeah, there it is. There's the other one where she hits her with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mike found
both. So it's December 20th actually. Wow, Bianca Belair is one hell of an athlete. That was an unbelievable show strength to KOD on Dewdrop. She just hoisted her up, immediately dropped her. She held her up there, amazing. The match itself wasn't great, but that finish was memorable.
She's so good.
Yeah,
she really is.
It was good. They recycled a good finish. I don't mind that. It's like sometimes they recycle. No,
sometimes a good recycling.
Sometimes they recycle all their horrible finishes, and it's like, all right.
Sometimes a good old recycle is not a bad thing.
Yeah, but Bianca Belair's promo I thought was a little dead, but that's because they just come off all this great stuff with the 24/7 stuff, and I think they killed the crowd a little bit. But when she hoisted her up for that KOD, when she hit her with the power bomb first,
this is strength on her.
Yeah, but when she hit her with the power bomb, that woke the crowd up, and then when she hit her with the KOD, they were just losing their minds.
Because how could you not?
This match will go a long way to getting her WrestleMania ready, in terms of excitement.
Yes.
And in fact, I think not next week or even 2 weeks, but maybe 3 weeks from now, they should do another Dewdrop match where the same thing kind of happens, just to kind of
that's a good idea. We'll keep the momentum going.
Keep that momentum going.
Yeah.
But they're very close to undoing every single thing that they did wrong at SummerSlam. Because remember how wild
she was so wronged. She was so wronged.
We were wild on it. When we did the SummerSlam
so
post
bad.
Show, we knew that. Right. We knew then and there. No. We knew then and there that was unforgivable.
That was not right what they did to her.
We were that's why you got to watch this show, everybody. That's why you got to watch this show and subscribe and like our video, because we know what we're talking about. On the SummerSlam post show, we went on and said that was devastating to Bianca Belair.
It was
absolutely devastating.
They did her so wrong,
and it's taken 6 months to rehab her back.
And it's always
and they still have a ways to go. Just because she's going for the title doesn't mean that it's over.
No,
she has to actually win the title.
Yes.
She cannot lose to Becky Lynch. She cannot lose at WrestleMania.
Nope.
And continue on being looked at as main event talent.
She's
they have to book her to win it.
She has to win. She has to win, and she should win. She should.
All right. Main event of the show. We already talked about the Edge thing. The main event of the show is RK Bro versus Kevin Owens and Seth freaking Rollins. If Owens and Rollins win, they get inserted into the Raw Tag Team title match in 2 weeks against Alpha Academy and RK Bro. Owens and Rollins want to win this match and become tag team champions so that they can have a path to WrestleMania. Kevin Owens' path to WrestleMania is still going to see him face Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I'd like to see Seth freaking Rollins. I don't know who he could possibly face, but I don't know. Who could Seth Rollins face at WrestleMania? I don't know. So Seth Rollins is still a big question mark as to who he could face at WrestleMania. But Kevin Owens, I know they have him earmarked for Stone Cold. Maybe, maybe Seth Rollins is Undertaker. I don't know.
Could you imagine?
It could be that the two of them want to carve a path where they face legends, especially when because I don't think they're going to be the tag team champions. So, yes, I do think we're getting AJ versus Edge. Danielle. They're not starting the RKO breakup. I hope they don't do that. That would be ridiculous.
Please, no.
Stop.
No,
I really
don't say, don't put that energy in the air.
Hey,
Cody
our
versus
friend from
Seth?
the UK saying Cody versus Seth could be the one.
That could be it. That could be it.
The only other thing I can think of is that, Owens and Rollins, in order to get to WrestleMania, they say, "Oh, we want to face legends." So Owens calls out Steve Austin, and Rollins calls out The Undertaker.
That's not another bad idea either.
Rather than putting Steve Austin in a singles match, maybe you just have him and Undertaker, versus Owens and Rollins.
I love it. I love these ideas.
Put me on the wheel. I'm ready. I'm ready. Call me in. You have my number. Anyway, this was actually a really good main event, and it wasn't enough for me to really save the entire show, but this was a really, really good main event with main event guys that know how to do a good main event.
Yes. So
it was main eventers main eventing. That's
for me, the show started great and ended great.
Seth freaking Rollins versus John Cena. Machine Walls. Okay, yeah, maybe.
There are a ton of different.
Maybe
that's what this. That's the one thing good about this time. There's so many.
A lot of fun fantasy booking things here. I think we'll have some more answers for some of these questions next week.
Yes.
And in the weeks to come. But I gotta tell you, it actually does feel like WrestleMania season, and I'm excited. And knowing that we're part of a stop on the road to WrestleMania, going to Madison Square Garden, I'm very excited.
Very pumped.
Very excited to see, to be going back to a show and feeling that WrestleMania,
I didn't think I got that feeling again. I really didn't.
It's like,
it's been a while.
We're going to a show. It's gonna be great. Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey will be there. Name your names. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins is booked for that show.
I thought in a long time, there's no way I'm going to be excited. Even if I knew I could go back, no problem, no issue, no COVID, whatever. I did not think I'd be excited, but I am genuinely excited. Yeah, I really am.
Me too. Well, I think we're going to put a bow on this show for tonight, but let's get everybody's votes in the chat first. What did you think of the show? Do you give it a thumbs up or thumbs down? Victoria, we'll start with you first. Do you give the show a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
So although the show started great, ended great, I still have to give it a thumbs down.
Okay.
Just a lot of stuff in between that I did not like. Especially the Logan Paul thing. I just can't. We're on that's the one road to WrestleMania and I'm not riding along with. So
I know. Daniel Shaw gives it a dashing thumbs up.
Good.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be split on this show because the more I talked about it, there was more good than bad that I realized on the show. It's like in the immediate aftermath of that's the problem with when you give a hot take on Twitter. It's I kind of tied myself into oh god, this show was bad. But in hindsight, they gave if we cut out that middle section of the show, this would be a good show. I still have to give it a thumbs down, but I liked the Brock thing. I liked the Bianca Belair Doudrop match, but again, that happened way later in the show. I liked the Edge and the main event, but that's after almost 2 hours of just filler,
that's what I'm saying.
Kind of nothingness.
Yeah.
The Tommaso Ciampa thing was that match was
did nothing for me. Damian Priest did nothing for me.
And Finn Balor doesn't exactly light my fire.
No, nope.
There's a lot of stuff that I'm not really that excited about. But the last 3 to 4 segments and the first segment, I like that. All right, Machine Wall says it's a thumbs down this time. 5 out of 10 from Mr. Rally. I liked Edge too. He's great. Yes, indeed. Daniel Shell says they're dropping the Cody hints tonight. Yeah, indeed they are. Daniel Shell, please like and share and subscribe. Watch Roy on the SmackDown Post show on Friday. Yes, hopefully Roy will be back on Friday with the SmackDown Post show. Let's see what Twitter thinks of tonight's show, which they gave. Right now, it is almost half and half. 52% thumbs down, leading the way right now. So, okay. Yeah, it's one of those look, Raw has not been bad though. This was not a bad Raw.
No, it's not.
Because I'm
I've seen bad Raws. No,
we suffered through really bad Raws these last couple of years.
Oh
but
yes,
Raw since the WWE draft has been really good.
Yes,
has been good to really good for most nights.
Most of the time. Yep.
They have a few clunkers.
Which I'll take it.
They have a few clunkers every now and then, but so does SmackDown. SmackDown also has clunkers, but because SmackDown's 2 hours, the clunkiness doesn't ever really get dragged out. On 3 hours, it gets dragged out, so it makes it appear worse, but it's really not.
I would take a show like this.
I've been very happy with Raw lately. I really have.
I would take a show like this over what I've seen over the past couple of years.
So if they gave us a show like this in July 2020 when they were knocking Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins' eyes out, on the steps, I'd have been very happy instead of seeing what we got. It's like, geez, I thought Cody, did you, Mike and Victoria? Sorry, call me Rick. It wasn't an awful Raw. I didn't want to fall asleep today. So
that's actually a very good point. Not having to fall asleep. That's actually a very good.
And Daniel Schell says he would take this Raw over all of 2020. Agreed. Very much agreed. So, all right. That's it. That's Raw for tonight. This is the post show. I'm Mike Tedesco.
I'm Victoria Tedesco.
We will see you next week on post Raw number 149 as we march to 150. Wow, 150 shows. We've done a lot of shows since 2018. And we're not going to miss on the road to WrestleMania. So stay tuned, and we're going to have some fun in the coming weeks. But thank you everybody for joining us. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.